Okay, so this video is explicitly and exclusively dedicated to why I decided to do away with entirely using any brushed DC motors. No brushed is going into my robot at all. Only brushless. So basically, I was initially going to be using brushed DC motor size 140. They're only at 86 cents each shipped. And this is how big they were. And they were really great for the fingers. And they still would work great. These are still about twice the size of the motor you'll find inside a actual servo motor that comes in the black box. And so it would be twice as strong after I do my external down gearing through my pulley system. It would still be twice as strong as your typical servo motor that people use, like the MG996R servo motor. So this would be a great choice, but it's nowhere near as good as this big boy. Now, granted, this is about twice the size, but it's going to be maybe 5 times stronger because brushless DC motors are about twice as strong as brushed for the size, if the size is 1 to 1. So this is 2 times the size, maybe 2.5 times the size, and then automatic 2 times stronger because of just it being brushless for many reasons. So that's going to be maybe 5x the strength of this because of those factors. 5 times stronger for the fingers. That's a huge upgrade. And yet, it's not that much bigger. Yes, it's bigger, but not that much bigger. I was able to redo the whole forearm design with these larger motors, the brushless motors. I redid it all, and I only had to move like maybe 5 motors out of the forearms, which would no longer fit since we went to the bigger size brushless. I had to move like 5 of them, like a couple here, maybe 1 or 2 here. I think one went here. That's all. That's all I had to do. Just fit some in the empty spots in the upper arm, and then we were able to still fit everything we had before, but with the 5 times stronger motor. So that's going to be a huge asset to us going forward. Is having the grip strength for every finger and the wrists and stuff being 5 times stronger, and that's worth it. Also, I realized that brushless motors are way quieter than brushed. These kind of have a little bit of sparking and stuff that they tend to be kind of high pitched and loud. These are very quiet operators, depending on how it's programmatically set up and how the driver software and hardware is working. These can run very quietly, and that's a lot of it is a software issue involving the rotating magnetic fields. Is what I've heard and read about and stuff. So much quieter, significantly stronger, last longer. These brushes eventually fail, so these can last, maybe 10 times the life of the motor. Maybe I don't know, maybe 5 times. So this will last years and years longer, way stronger, way quieter. Doesn't produce like dust. These might produce some dust, although I'm not sure because the brushes on this type of motor I think are just metal rubbing. I'm not sure if these use graphite or not, but they do wear out eventually. So these will be better on that. Usually they're better construction. They are a little bit more pricey. So this will be $11 shipped, and then this one's $1. So it's 11 times the cost. But you're getting so much back for it, and really it's like you're going to spend so much time building the robot. Do you really want to cheap out on the hardware and have a much crappier robot at the end of the day for all of your work? That's not a good use of your time. You want to use the best materials you've got available as long as it's within striking distance of a good price. This is still very reasonable, very affordable. It's not like it's $1,000. It's only $11. You can afford $11, and so this is what you pretty much got to do. It's the 2430 motor instead of the size 140 motor. That's the big upgrade that we went with for the robot hands and all the muscles involved in the hands, the fingers, the thumb, the wrist, etc. That's the big upgrade that I did. And I'm so happy I did that. Now, the problem though is the circuitry for this required just a single little IC chip. It's just an H bridge, super simple. And this thing didn't pull that many watts. It was 5 volts, but it's only supposed to be like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 amps is all it can handle. So that's going to be like 5 to 10 watts. It pulls only. This thing pulls 200 watts. 20 times, 20, 25 times the watts of this. This thing is going to be a monster in power, I bet you. I don't know like exactly the difference. I figured 5 times. It might even be 15 times stronger. If you're getting your hint of the strength based on how many watts it pulls, it's going to be way stronger. 24 amps at 7.4 volts. This thing's only 5 volts max, and it's only going to pull like 1 or 2 amps, maybe 3 amps. So, I mean, this thing might be like 10 times stronger. If you're just going based on size and the fact that it's brushless, just that alone had me thinking more like 5 times stronger. But if you consider the wattage this thing's pulling, it really could be 10 times stronger. Maybe 8 times stronger at the least. So it's just going to be a monster compared to these. That's worth it, guys. So don't use brushed motors. Don't do it. Just get it out of your head. You'll save money, get it out of your head. Nope, don't care about that. It's not worth it in the long run. Just save up the money, do it right the first time. You won't regret it. Now, as I said, the circuitry on this is a little simpler. It's just a single chip, single IC chip. This requires a dual H bridge or something like that. So basically, this is like 4 MOSFETs on a little chip. The chip is little because it's only dealing with a small amount of amps and a small amount of volts. Since this is dealing with much higher amps and voltage, the components are much larger. And if you were to try to buy an ESC for this, it's called electronic speed controller. It's kind of big and it's kind of expensive, and no, it's not that bad expensive, but it's kind of big and it's not flexible circuitry. So I recommend making your own ESC. It's going to give you a lot more control and a lot better end result, in my opinion. And I'm going to be showing you guys my ESC design work very shortly.